for the pulse of Tampa Bay sports. Beckles and Recher is the #1 source. The new dog, raising up the bar. Intelligent sports talk in your own backyard. Ain't no competition, ask the fans why. Beckles and Recher got it by a landslide. Don't fret, microphone check, stand by. Yo, Fox, where they at? Where my two favorite guys? Here they go. 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 Here they go.
All right, here we go. Welcome back to Beckles and Recher, the podcast that brings a flavor to the Tampa Bay area.
The podcast that keeps on giving.
You know what I'm saying? You can't get rid of us.
No, you can't.
How are you, brother? Everything good?
I'm good, man. We just talked about the video from our chat on Monday from the show, talking about the Bucs being the best team in the NFL, which is a good thing to discuss, man, because it hasn't happened too many times. And now they're starting to see some love nationally. A lot of people having them #1 in their power rankings. It scares me a little bit.
Understandable. But the thing is, when the Bucs being 5-1, what could happen to this team other than Baker Mayfield go down to make you scared anymore?
Right.
Like, there's nothing else to be fearful of. So they've been through everything already. You mess around and get some of these players back, and now you get some depth. And so it's about peaking at the right time or figuring out ways to win when you're not peaking. So I've been in this town a long time. It's not quite Brady mania, but people are talking, man.
They are.
Because people are talking everywhere, and there's a buzz going on.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And, a lot of people are talking, and they're giving the Bucs their flowers, and deservedly so. We did that, but I wanted to take a little bit of a different angle.
All right.
And I wanted to talk about what concerns you about the Buccaneers.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of good things, and I talked about it on my show today, but there's also a little bit of me like, don't mess around this Monday night against Detroit, because Detroit has that ability to kind of put the mirror out and show you where you're at. Like, if you're not playing smart football, if you're not really focused on the trenches and protecting your quarterback, and if you're not focusing on taking care of the football, you'll get exposed in this game against Detroit. And you got to think, when the numbers even out, like the injuries at some point, maybe not for the long term, but for a game, right? A game, it could catch you. So where could a possible hiccup be for this Buccaneers team Monday night against Detroit? Because just as much as it is for them, obviously there's another team playing too, and a pretty damn good one.
I agree with everything you just said, but it would have made sense for them to hook up against San Francisco and also Seattle.
Right.
Okay, so this is what this team is. This team is a confident team that doesn't give a rat's ass where they're going, who they're playing. And you asked me what concerns you. I don't think I could be more concerned over a 5-1 team. I'm just going to be honest as you can, because
right.
I remember the time where the Buccaneers were 3-0, and everybody's like, we're 3-0. And I said, enjoy yourself, because if they don't do this, this, and this, they're going to start to lose. The Buccaneers have been winning despite, they probably 2 of the games they rushed the passer well. The other ones they didn't, okay? Mm-hmm. From what I hear, and I don't really, subscribe to Pro Football Weekly, on Focus and all that kind of stuff, but I do listen to what they say, because they have people that know what they're talking about and evaluating players for the most part. Supposedly, we have a couple players that are ranked like the worst in the league. I know Heck is terrible. Mm-hmm. Like, I think Heck was ranked 73 out of 77 tackles. Whoever plays right guard, like last week, Haggard went down and somebody else went in I've never heard of before. Pretty sure his grades aren't that good. So you can't keep on being subpar as an offensive line and think you're going to still. So right now, I just said we're not that great in the trenches, and we're 5-1. So does that concern me? Absolutely, it concerns me.
More concerned about the offensive line or the defensive line going into the game Monday night?
Going into Monday night, probably a defensive line.
Really?
Yeah, because
even with Aiden Hutchinson on the other side, and knowing what he was able to do a couple years ago?
I don't think Aiden Hutchinson could possibly be the same guy yet. Okay, he's still probably a really good football player, but the Lions don't play too much, okay? The Lions are one of those teams. The Buccaneers haven't quite been what they've been in the past, stopping the run.
Right.
Okay, so you're going to find out what you're about Monday night. No doubt about that, because the Lions, out of everybody in the league, the Lions play the least as far as running the football. They run the ball 1st and 10, they might get 2 yards. And they're going to run it again. Like, that's what they do often. So Vita Vea has to be big, and he has to be present. Like, I mean, I see him, for me, he leaves the field too much. Like, last game, he was fantastic, okay? This game, you can't lead the field. And we need Vita Vea in there. So we're going to see what happens inside because they haven't been quite what they've been in the past stopping the run. That concerns me as well.
Yeah, and with the team that's so reliant on the play-action pass, right? I mean, Jared Goff, if there's one thing you could say, and you saw it last week when they were behind, and you also saw it in their playoff loss to Washington, is when they get behind and you know Jared Goff is throwing the football, he's just not as effective. Like, you can't say that same thing. And for the last couple of years, I think there's been a even comparison with the Jared Goff and Baker Mayfield, right? I mean, two teams winning their division, right? Guys going not on their first team. They've been written off. But the big difference between the two of those guys is that Baker Mayfield, whether you're ahead, whether you're behind, like, he's still going to go out there and be able to make plays, and he's able to make plays with his legs, where Jared Goff, man, when he's out in front or it's a tie game and he can, really be under control, play action pass, set his feet, like, he'll dissect you, man. He'll carve you up. But I'm with you. I think it's going to come down to running the football. And with Bucky Irving not being able, it doesn't look like he'll be available for this game. You're going to need Rachaad White to continue to play well. You're going to need Sean Tucker to continue to get, to tote the rock. And then you're going to have to do whatever it takes to make sure that you stop the David Montgomery Thunder and the Jahmyr Gibbs Lightning, because if they can't control that, Beck, it could be a long night for the Bucks on Monday.
No doubt. And you go back to Baker Mayfield and what he's done this year. There's another thing that concerns me. It's a long, long season, okay?
Right.
And whether you're Jared Allen or Cam Newton or whoever it may be that runs the football, and Baker runs it a little bit, sometimes in week 14, it's going to be hard for Baker to spit out of two guys and then juke dudes, and because it's late in the season and your body just is not the same, okay? And like, we watched quarterbacks go through the season taking licks, and it usually ends up poorly at the end. Okay, so Baker's one of those guys. I don't think he takes a lot of hits, but he's taking some hits. Not the biggest kid in the world. And when you go back to his Cleveland years, that's one of the things that held him back was his body. Now, he's been okay to this point, but that's something that has to be concerning as well. But this is the thing with Baker Mayfield. I don't think they F with him.
You can't
hold him back, because no matter what you say, he's doing that, and you don't want him to stop from doing whatever he's doing. You don't want him to stop doing whatever the hell he's doing.
Well, you're also, when you're making those plays, those are off script anyway. So
Correct.
A lot of those things are happening. Yep. That's just the brilliance of Baker on his own.
But it's a brilliance of Baker. But here's the thing that we don't talk about, and this is real. On the play he made, that crazy play, two guys hit him.
Yeah.
Quickly. That means two guys are getting beat.
Yeah.
So most of the times, that's a sack in the game. The game could be over, so that's not always going to happen, unfortunately.
You mentioned Cam Newton. I know this is kind of on a tangent here, because I just saw a conversation the other day with Cam Newton and Nick Wright from Fox Sports 1, and Nick Wright said to Cam Newton, and the reason why I bring this up is because you and I have talked about this before, and I'm curious to get your input on it. Nick Wright says Cam Newton makes too much about Cam not falling on the fumble, because Cam hears it a lot, and he answers that question a lot, and he talks about it a lot. And Nick Wright says, Cam, I think you're overplaying how much people talk about that, and that he said that more people talk about how great he was rather than him not falling on the fumble. And I thought it was nice that he said that to him, but I don't know if I agree.
I disagree.
And it's sad in a way, because they were 15-1, I think. He was an MVP. What he was able to do, he was unstoppable that season. He made the dab cool, the Superman thing. Like, he owned the NFL that season. Like, that was Cam Newton's season. The only thing he didn't do was win the Super Bowl. Again, I thought it was nice that Nick said that, but I don't know if I agree. When you look back at the career of Cam Newton, I think a lot of times football fans, whether they're casual or hardcore, it comes back to him not falling on the fumble. What say you?
Okay, he's a very colorful person, okay? And a lot of times, colorful people just waiting for them to fall.
Right.
Okay, that's the fact. Whether you're Deion Sanders or whoever the hell you are, when you're that colorful and you fail, people are going to remember that, and that's it. And I agree that year Cam Newton took him to the Super Bowl, I'm not sure I've ever seen anybody do that. That was, and when I
nobody
say,
did. Nobody did.
And since nobody's done it since.
Nobody will.
You cannot do it.
I don't think you can, because you know what? You saw the ramifications, and
Correct.
it kind of goes into the conversation we were just having about Baker. Like, that took the way that he played that year took years off of his career.
No doubt about it. He was never the same after.
Never.
That. And here's what we're saying. And if you don't remember that year, I remember it vividly like it was last year. I remember going, you can't keep doing that, because this is what that was. 3rd and 2, we run quarterback power, and we lower your head and you get the first down almost every time. He was taking running back licks.
He was playing college quarterback.
No doubt about it.
He was playing college quarterback
Correct.
in the NFL.
And here's one other thing I want everybody to consider. And listen, you want somebody to be a dog all the time, okay? Here's the thing you don't know. This is true. I want everybody to listen closely to this, right? Are you sure Peyton Manning would have dove in there with his arm like that? Are you sure? Are you sure Eli Manning would have dove? Because you know what a quarterback doesn't want to do for his life and career and everything? Is dive in with your arm, okay? It's easy to look at something and go, you should have dove. But he just went through 18 weeks of battery. We had no idea what his shoulders were about. We have no idea. At the end of my career, when somebody passed me a piece of paper in meetings, I had to almost guide my arm to get it, okay? I guarantee Cam Newton's body was beat down. And listen, we don't know the way his body was. And are you sure at the end of Tom Brady's career he would have dove for that ball? I'm not sure. I think it's easy to say you should have, you could have, but that's in a perfect world. You never know what that guy's body and that guy's mind was at that time. And we love to, evaluate one play and make somebody's whole career be that. Nobody could be any further from the truth with Cam Newton. Cam Newton was a dog. And to keep on bringing up that one gosh darn play, and it has to drive him nuts.
No, but that's what I'm saying.
It has to drive him nuts.
But that's my question, is you and I look at it, and we don't say that. I think if you know ball and you remember that season, they were 15-1 that year. He threw for over 3,800 yards, 35 touchdowns through the air. He ran for 630 yards and ran for 10 touchdowns. He was all over the place, right? But what defines Cam Newton?
That one play.
On the majority, right? One play. The majority of the people are going to say the fumble.
In the championship game.
But that's the thing, right? Bill Buckner was a late inning replacement, but they remember, and I'm not saying Bill Buckner had anywhere the same career that Cam Newton did, but Bill Buckner was a late inning defensive replacement, a respected veteran in Major League Baseball, but people remember that one play.
You know what I would compare him to? Roberto Duran.
Yeah, no mas.
No mas, but bro, let me tell you something. Before and after that, I was a bad man. It's easy to say you gave up because you've never been there. You've never been 12 rounds getting your head kicked. You've never been there. You can't give up. Oh, you've never been there. I've never been there. I've never been in one round getting beat up and stand in the corner and have to look at somebody who's still fresh. You don't know nothing about that.
What other, I mean, that's a great comparison. Mm-hmm. What other comparisons in sports would you be able to make where you're either a Hall of Famer or an all-time great or a guy who had a couple of good seasons that is defined by a super negative moment?
Ron Artest.
That could be Malice in the Palace. I think another one is Dennis Eckersley. He gave up the home run to Kirk Gibson when he couldn't run around the bases. You're talking about one of the best closers of all time. Sure. But
that was more about Gibson, though. I think that was more about Gibson.
But the same thing, though. I mean, you look at, he was the guy that threw the pitch, and people forget, look at that one season. He had an ERA under 0.7. But shout out to everybody that's watching in the chat right now. Eddie Harada, I got to show you the picture later of Baker Mayfield dressed up as Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, no.
It's fantastic. But you bring it, I mean, that's another thing to be concerned about. We were just talking about Cam Newton with Baker Mayfield, man. Just making sure that he takes care of himself, because as much as a guy like, we use Russell Wilson, for example, he was a guy that was very smart, got out of bounds, didn't take a lot of hits. That kind of stuff wears on you throughout the season. This team is in big trouble if number 6 goes down.
That's the thing. And, well, shout out to the people at the Dignitary Cafe who are watching us as well.
Yeah.
Big ups. Here's the thing, okay? As it progresses, I don't know if Russell Wilson was ever half the dog that Baker Mayfield is. Never, anytime. Like, there's a lot of quarterbacks that go through their career and they do not put their career in jeopardy. They don't do it. Lots of them. It's a big list of them. Baker ain't on that list. But I'm going to say this. When a lineman or a running back or receiver sees a quarterback slide a yard short and you got to punt the ball, it's a way different feel than to watch your quarterback pump fake and deke over 3 guys and spin off another dude and then go back and watch the play. Go back and watch the play. He evaded 2 people for the sack, stopped, pump faked, made one guy miss, deked another guy, and as he's being tackled, he reached the ball out to get the first down. I mean, how many quarterbacks in the league right now are able to do that one? And Lamar's out. So there ain't too many of them. Mahomes may be one of them. Josh Allen is another one. There ain't too many more. Not winning, that's for sure.
No doubt about it. And a team that I will take Baker Mayfield 7 days a week and twice on Sunday over a guy like Tua Tagovailoa and the Dolphins. And
who would take Tua over Baker Mayfield right now?
But think about that.
Come on.
If I would have asked you that 3 years ago,
yeah, I would take anybody over Baker 3 years ago. Anybody,
crazy.
Anybody who's starting over. Nobody expected this. I don't want anybody.
Nobody
to
saw that coming.
Nobody.
No,
not a Cleveland Brown fan. I know. I guess my good friend Marissa, who I've known for a long time. She's a big Browns fan, and she was here the other day.
She's what?
She's a big Browns fan. Yeah.
I didn't even know they made them.
They're very quiet.
Shout out to our guy Chan checking out on the chat with a $5 super chat. Appreciate you, Chan.
She was here at Dignitary Cafe, and I was talking. All of a sudden, I looked at her. I go, "You're a Browns fan, aren't you?" She goes, "Yeah." And I go, "What is your opinion on how well Baker Mayfield is playing?" And she gave me a look, Jay.
It was like, "Hey, how's your ex-girlfriend that's married to that millionaire?"
I've never seen that face before. It was like, "How dare you?" Wow,
that's rough. Bro.
It was rough. And now.
It's like your boy, your friend's ex-girlfriend's married to a millionaire. He's like the greatest guy. Oh, he's such a great guy.
Yeah.
And looking at him like
that's like your girl breaks up with you, and then you see her, and you know she's marrying a porn star now, and then you look at his videos, you got about an 18-incher. It's like that. Like no, it's close.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's close, something like.
But did you? All right. So the reason why I bring up Tua. This guy always takes it to porn. This guy, always somewhere.
Straight to porn.
Did you hear Tua's comments in the post game about
hated them? Hey,
tell me how you really feel, bro.
He hated them. Hated them.
Let me ask you that before we get to that.
Go ahead.
One thing that you said years ago is that you didn't think Baker was going to ever be a backup quarterback in the league.
He couldn't be.
He's just
too personal. Right? It's too much. He's too much.
Almost like Jameis.
And they're asking for Jameis.
Did you watch a game Thursday night with the Giants and the Eagles?
Of course, yeah.
Did you next time you watch the Giants, just look at the sideline and look at Jameis running. He's running up and down like him and Russell Wilson are like the greatest example of backup quarterbacks. They're invested into the game. That's got good vibes, right?
Sure.
But I think Tua's in that same ilk of Baker of a different way. I don't think it's because of the same reasons you said with Baker. I don't know if Tua could be a backup quarterback in the league.
I don't think in his mind he could. I think other people would allow it. I just don't think he ever became that popular. And he would be a great backup quarterback, I think.
Ugh.
Okay, but it's because you can win with Tua, right? Tua has a lot of experience. As a starter, though, you got to put him on like a Steeler team. If you put him on the Steelers, you can win.
The Lions?
You put him on the Lions, you can win. I don't want to diminish what Jared Goff's doing, but you can't be a team that's dependent on Tua. That's just not. And that whole system over there, I'm gonna compare McDaniel to Chip Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
It's cute for a bit. That's cute.
Yeah.
Cute runs out so quick. You better be physical. You better be mean.
You better have a personality.
You better have buy-in. I don't see no buy-in in Miami. There's some of them cats, and everybody's talking out. Everybody's talking, and Tyreek wants to get out, and then get out of here. It doesn't work. It's not going to work. No way.
So when Tua makes these comments about players being late to players-only meetings, and now the entire next week, everybody, offensive players, defensive players, Mike McDaniel himself, is being asked about Tua's comments. Has there been a worse example of leadership in the NFL this year than those comments right there?
Not off the top of my head.
Not off the top. Me neither.
Well, to me,
that's bad.
Look, what are you trying to accomplish? Okay, here's what
you know. You know exactly what you're trying to say. This is the ultimate example of what?
Right.
It's not me. It's them.
No, I understand that.
That's exactly what that
is.
Doesn't make it right.
No, it's wrong. Okay, and here is the mentality of majority of NFL players. I'm telling you. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. I've been on a few teams. There's us, and then there's them. The people in our locker room is us. And then there's them. And them is even the coaches. It's us. And what you don't do is tell on us. He was telling on us. So when you say there's some guys that were late, you're talking about specific players. And we know who was late. So the team is looking at those dudes. That's not right. There's no leadership in there whatsoever. He could have said, there's guys not taking it seriously enough. There's some guys that got to be more accountable. Broad, cool. Let's keep on moving. But when you be specific like that, you know unequivocally every freaking media member is going to want to know who was late for the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
That's their job. Don't do that, man. There's no leadership in that whatsoever. That can't ever come out. We had situations here in Tampa Bay where I remember one situation we had a giveaway, we're giving presents for Christmas, and Sam Weiss did something stupid. He gave a present to somebody that he shouldn't have, and it got out in the press. And we found out it was Trent Dilfer. Can't do it.
What was the present?
He gave like some stickum or something to Alvin Harp. I think he gave it to Alvin, and Alvin took the present and he looked at him in the face and he kicked it. That's what was going on in the Buccaneer place.
Is this a well-known thing?
Oh, it wasn't supposed to be, but it was in the news. It was in the paper.
I don't remember that.
Rick Stroud wrote about it. Look, and the thing is, Rick Stroud was getting these inside scoops, and everybody's like, "Where?" And then they found out Trent was doing it.
How did they find out that it was Trent?
It's not hard to find out eventually.
Yeah.
It'd only be a few people.
It's process of
It'd
elimination.
only be a few people.
So
and
what happens
and
there?
Sam
Who
Weiss and
checks him?
Trent Dilfer hate each other.
So who checks Trent Dilfer?
Nobody.
Nobody did? You said you
might-
checked him in the huddle, remember?
No,
you checked him in the press.
No,
remember?
I checked him in the press when he talked about the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
In that situation, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Okay, if you're going to be a snitch, then be a snitch. But you ain't going to lead the locker room as a snitch. That's just never going to happen. Now, if you talk about the offensive line, it's my duty to say, yo, come here, let me talk to you.
Right.
That ain't the way to do it. And I think he would never do that later in his career. But when, I didn't get involved with nobody's shit, dog. I take care of I just had no time. It was hard enough to block those dudes across from me and to get involved with all that politics shit. No way.
It makes it that much. It's hard enough to win in the NFL when everybody's on the same page. Is it fair to say it's impossible to be a winning team when things like that happen? Because
it doesn't usually work out.
the reason why I say that, because I feel like that is a microcosm of way deeper issues than the words that are coming out of his mouth.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. And the thing is, there has to be an element of unity.
Right?
There has to be. You don't have to like each other. You don't have to love each other. Cheedy and Sapp hated each other, okay? But on Sunday, they balled out together.
Right.
There you go. There's some guys in my team I didn't care for. On Sunday, you tap on the butts, let's rock and roll, and then we go. I'm not babysitting your kids, but there's got to be some unity, and not so much with the players, but I think more so with the coaches. But when the leaders don't lead well, and if you hear
Right.
that's not if anybody said that, if Tom Brady said that, I would be like, that's no leadership.
Yeah.
That's doing, and like when people like Russell Wilson, okay, when we say it's us and them, when you see Russell Wilson in the press box with the owners, never works.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to work. That means you're them, and we're over here with us, and it never works.
You mentioned guys that you play with that you didn't get along.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the show sheet today, but one of the topics of conversation was Ian's best friend.
Ian's best friend.
Yes.
On the team?
If people are asking you, and somebody asks you in the interview, who's your best friend? Is it Tony?
On the team?
Just
or in general?
in general, right now in your life, is Tony your best friend?
No, I wouldn't say Tony.
No. Wow, that would have been if somebody said, "I'll give you $1,000." Gun to my head, who's your best?
Well, my best.
Who's your best friend?
Well, what does that mean exactly? My best friend. I mean, I see him once a week for 2 hours. That's
I know,
my
you've
best
known
friend.
him forever.
Well, I didn't. Well, if you say best friend forever, my Raymond Sakawi, I've been friends with since first grade.
Okay, but your best friend right now, because it changes, right?
I understand that.
Okay.
But then again, I'm with some people here every day.
That's
You know what
true.
I mean, the
That's
great Tom
true.
Ponzo,
Tom Ponzo.
Chris Fraley, all these guys.
Chris is a great guy.
You know what I'm saying?
Tom's awesome.
You
What
know?
about Bert? Where does he live?
Bert's somewhere down the list, but he's on the list.
He's on the back.
No, Bert's I like Bert. Bert's my people, man. Don't tell him no.
So who's on the Mount Rushmore right now? Like, who's your best friends right now? Putting you on the spot.
Best friends?
Best friends. Josh has got to be on there.
I got a lot of dudes, man. I got history.
Can we clip that part? I got a lot of dudes.
I got a lot of
clip
dudes.
that. You're lucky we're not on radio and I'm your producer.
I don't see Josh that much, but we have history. Me and you have history. Me and Tom Ponzo have me and Tony have huge history. If you want to go that way in the Tampa Bay area, me and Greg Wolf have history. You know what I'm saying? Like people been around forever.
All right, so let's just go like this.
All right.
If you break down in the middle of the night, who are you calling to help you?
It doesn't mean that's my best friend. It just means
I'm going around it.
Probably call Chris.
Chris is the guy. He's that guy.
Yeah.
If you got tickets to a game,
okay, what
in
game?
Tampa,
What game?
Bucks. Who are you taking? Can't be your son or your daughters.
A female.
Can't take a female. It's not your best friend.
A person?
Yeah. Ponzo wants to know.
How about closest friends instead of best friends?
Thank you, Ponzo. I appreciate
Ponz.
with the word, the ease of wordsmanship.
Closest friends.
What was the question again?
Who are you taking to a game?
A Bucks game?
Yeah.
It depends on what's going on that week. I mean, there's nobody that comes to mind. Like, Tony doesn't want to go to a Bucks game. He doesn't want to go. Like, and first of all, if it's not in the suite, I'm not going.
I ain't going. All right, so you're going to the suite.
Okay, I'm going in the suite.
Yes.
Just one ticket?
You got one person to go with.
I think Ponzo would probably get
Nice.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Ponzo
I
would
like
get
that.
it. You know what I'm saying?
Who is your best friend that you haven't talked to in the longest time?
Talk to in person?
Just at all.
Sean, my buddy Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and my buddy Sean from Montreal, we grew up together since we were 12. Lifted weights together all the way through till I made it to the league. And when I think about it as I get old, like he's the reason why I'm tough.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind. Like Sean was tough. When I mean tough, and I mean knocking cats out tough. And it toughened me up, that's for sure. Because, Sean was the kind of guy, he reminds me of Pat Tillman a little bit.
Okay.
Because Sean would do this, right? I'm going to run a marathon next week. And I go, what? And I go, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, I'm going to run a marathon next week. And I go, you can't run a marathon without preparing for it. Next week, you ran a marathon. That's him.
Right.
So when we worked out, everything was, extreme. And I benefited from the whole thing. So probably Sean. I went to junior college. He was my roommate. I knew him since I was 12. I don't think we ever had a fight.
Yeah.
We hated each other because we used to compete against each other all the time. But I don't think we ever had a misunderstanding where we didn't speak. Like never, not one. Actually, I'm looking back. We have misunderstandings with my people, though.
Because you just don't.
I don't care.
You don't have them.
Like I just, like if we have a misunderstanding, and we've been on the air before, bickered, and people don't realize when you bicker, you're bickering. So when we go to a break, you're still this odd feeling. Because you're going back at it.
There's a weird. There's a weird.
There's a little grace period where, like, you
gotta breathe a little.
Screw you.
Yeah.
Screw you, and then but you just gotta go get some water and come back.
Yeah,
and
the best
go about
is
your
just
business.
deep breath and go. Not everybody's like that.
At the end of it,
not everybody's like that.
At the end of it, I understand that Jay doesn't understand that I'm always right, and that I have to understand he's young, and I have to understand this stuff. So I got to say, just let him be himself.
Cut the tape because we know that.
The
lie detector test determined that was a lie. Did you ever get into a fight with Ron on the air?
Never.
It's
a bad idea.
Nah.
It'd be a bad idea. You work with Ron, didn't you? It'd be the last thing you do.
But it was different.
It'd be the last thing you do.
Yeah, but
JP got in a fight with him. What happened after that?
Ask Steve Carney.
Nobody
wants to talk about that.
What's his name? Justin Pulaski got in a fight with him. What happened after that?
Yeah.
We can keep going now. It's not a bad. Hey, you know what you don't want to do is get in a fight with the guy who started radio at Tampa Bay. Because this one I didn't realize this at first, but one time we're in the meeting and who was the one head guy we had? It's kind of a younger guy, taller guy, not a bad looking guy. I don't remember him. Before Momola, who was before Momola?
I don't know.
You weren't there?
Okay.
But he was a younger dude. And when we're in a meeting one time, he was talking about growing up listening to Ron. That's when I realized.
Oh, yeah. You're in a different.
I can't win.
No.
Like if it comes
You're
out
losing
of me
that
and
one.
Ron, I'm going to lose.
You're losing that one, buddy.
Absolutely.
You're losing that one.
Absolutely.
Speaking of losing, the Eagles have been doing some more losing lately.
And they look bad doing it. Doing it.
Cause for concern?
Oh, absolutely. They're going to lose this week, too. Watch. They're going to lose this week, too.
That was not good against the
No.
Giants.
Look, the only thing they did was a tush push well, and that's it. They
It
don't
was
do
weird.
anything else well.
They're such an enigma because at times, we talked about this, I think, weeks ago. At times, they look like nobody can beat them.
But
and then at times, they look like they
Correct.
don't know what's going. How can a team that's won a Super Bowl
Yep.
look so discombobulated and look like it's the first time that they've ever
It's
played?
not hard, though. We see it all the time.
Yeah,
We saw from the Buccaneers, you're out there winning a Super Bowl.
from
When
a
you
team
win a
like that.
Super Bowl, dog, man, you've been on the circuit, and everybody been stroking you, and it's hard to be a dog when you've been stroked. You know what I mean? It's hard
Yeah.
to keep that edge, man.
But I think it's
There's
the
an
way
edge.
that they do it, right? It's one thing if it doesn't come together. We saw with the Bucs after the Brady win. It's, some things don't go your way, but like you said, with unity, that's the thing. You would think at the very least, and we saw with the Lightning, we've seen it with other championship teams where you win and you walk and your brothers forever walking through history. It just seems like this team has never won before. They act like that. Like there's no that's my dog. We won a championship. We'll be brothers forever. I just saw a clip today of somebody in Philly saying, "Oh yeah, the best quarterback on the roster is Tanner McKee. It's not even Jalen Hurts." That's the media up there in Philly, which is another level. But my God, man, it's so weird. Would you be surprised if Nick Sirianni gets fired at the end of this season?
Well, I think you just explained what the problem is, okay? I don't know if I ever heard anybody speak against Tony Dungy. Never. Or Bill Parcells, or Belichick at the time, or any of these great coaches, or Andy Reid, okay? They're speaking bad about Nick Sirianni while he's winning.
While he's there, and
That's
they
what I'm
just
saying.
won.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even at when they win a Super Bowl,
Bro, the body's still warm.
he lost 2 games, and people are talking. So you lost 2 games, and people are talking about firing him. I'm like, people must not like you. And I'm
That's
gonna
what
say
it
this.
is. That's what it is,
I
right?
was in Philadelphia. I don't like the leadership from top to bottom.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Okay, so I think it's built funny. So I don't know about Sirianni, and I don't. There's some guys, okay, Bill Belichick is one, okay, Bill Parcells never really had to deal with it, and I don't think Belichick and Parcells are the same people. John Gruden's another one. John Tortorella's another one. We'll put Nick Sirianni in there. It's all good when you're winning, but when you start to lose, they go, out. Hey, big mouth. Out. We don't want that anymore because it's not a great feel. We're losing, and it doesn't feel good. I watched Rod Marinelli go 0-16. And not a swinging dilly in that locker room said a damn thing about Rod Marinelli.
Right. Think about that.
Not one dude.
And that's why we got to be aware of what's going on with Todd Bowles and why you and I were both on the don't be so quick to go with Liam Cohen for Todd Bowles, because the last 2 years after a strong start, the Bucs went into a swoon and not one person, not one thing came out of that locker room of, wow, Todd Bowles should go. That was all media driven, all fan driven. Nothing. And I've been in the locker room. Mm-hmm. Not one person was talking ill of Todd Bowles saying that he needed to go. That says a lot, man.
Listen, Liam Cohen, Canales, Grizzard, what they all have in common is Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
And I think I really do believe they both got too much credit for Baker Mayfield turning into a good quarterback. Mm-hmm. A coordinator does not make a quarterback great. I swear to God. You could have the best system in the world and say, here's the read. Here. You could be the best teacher, and when the bullets start flying, it's about have I seen it before, and can I be tricked? And Baker Mayfield's in his part of his career right now. He's still young, still has good legs, and he can make that play from the pocket, which is essential. If you can't make that play, you won't make it very long. But he also, the broken play for him is sometimes the best play. And very few quarterbacks have both. Lamar has both. Josh Allen has both. Baker has both. Mahomes. And the list is not much longer than that. So he's in a special list right now.
No doubt about it. Your boy Aaron Glenn is in deep water out there.
That's my brother. I love Aaron Glenn. We got along real well when I was over there with the Jets, but it don't look good. It doesn't look good.
This is it.
It doesn't look good.
If it doesn't get better, he's
It
gone.
doesn't look good because nobody wants to get worse from worst.
They're going to get the number 1 pick, and they're going to get a quarterback, and you know who they might take?
Indiana. Mendoza.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
If you're the Jets, let's say you go 2-15, you get the number 1 overall pick. You fire Aaron Glenn and bring in an offensive guy to work with Mendoza? Because you almost have to get into what we see a lot in sports is that when your head coach and your quarterback are not on the same timeline, man, it's really sticky. It's really sticky because then it's one or the other. When it's your guy, and that's why you look at the Giants, like this was Daboll's last thing. It was Jackson Dart. Like, this was your saving grace. Like, this is your last guy. You're going to get your pick for the quarterback, and that's it. But some people, some coaches, they may not have gotten an opportunity to coach the Giants this year like Brian Daboll. But when you see a young guy and you get an opportunity to come in and they work together, I think that timeline is easier to kind of tell whether it's going to work or not. Aaron Glenn, I don't know if he's going to get that choice.
You asked me if I run the team or if I'm the coach. If I run the team.
If you run the team.
Okay. If I run the team.
If you run the team and then you have an opportunity to draft, let's say Mendoza, number 1 overall. Are you keep staying with Aaron Glenn or are you going with an offensive mind?
Well, if I run the team on everything that I love, I am not picking the quarterback first. I don't give a rat's ass how good he is. I'm not doing it.
Just for the sake of this argument, though, let's say you are. Let's say you do.
Yes.
Let's say you do.
I really think sometimes, let's bring this offensive-minded coach. Sometimes a quarterback coach is the most important thing, okay? You have to have a coordinator that's been successful. That's important as well. But you're going to be shitty for 2 years. Right. That's just the way it goes. So
what are you looking for then in a coach like that? Because Shane Steichen, right, goes to the Colts from the Eagles after they go to the Super Bowl and lose. Yeah. Now we're seeing the fruits of that labor. They were, competitive. Yeah. Now they're 5-1. They're the only other team with the Bucks than the Bucks with Daniel Jones at quarterback, right? You look at Liam Cohen, like he's done a pretty good job in Jacksonville, right?
I would say very good.
Yes. So, but that's what I'm saying. So when you get an opportunity to get a young play caller, I think you almost, if you don't have an established head coach, Beck, I think you almost have to go down that route to make sure that you give him a play caller because you know that you're going to need to build the offensive line, get him some weapons on the outside. That the play call is part of that too.
But once again, if I'm building a team,
you're not going there.
I'm not going there. And if you don't have to do anything. But if you have the number 1 pick, I'm trading it. Probably get 2 number 1s, a couple number 2s, a couple number 3s. That's where, because I tell you what, you aren't going to tell me. You aren't going to guarantee me that the first pick is going to be better than the 15th pick. You can't. And even if they're both quarterbacks, you can't. You don't know. Because we can go down the lists of all the picks, and it will be.
Well, just look at it like this. Who would you say are the top 6 quarterbacks
in the league right now?
In the league right now.
There's Baker, who is a
number
top,
1. Number 1 overall.
Number 1 is Mahomes. You just got to keep playing.
I'm talking about drafted number 1 overall.
You talk about teams or college?
Just when they were drafted. Baker was drafted number 1 overall.
Correct.
Who else is the top quarterback in the league? Josh Allen, not number 1 overall.
Goff was high, wasn't he?
Goff was number 1.
Yes.
It was him and Wentz.
Okay.
Right? Mahomes wasn't number 1 overall. Lamar Jackson wasn't. Josh Allen wasn't. Joe Burrow was. Yeah. So that's the thing. It's like you have Burrow, Mayfield, and let's say Burrow, Mayfield, and Goff. Good. But then you have the other 3. It was like, no, they weren't. And they weren't even the first quarterback taken in their draft.
But Baker didn't play well for the first 6 years.
Okay, the one good year, and then he hurt his shoulder, and then everything changed.
Listen, regardless what Baker's doing now, his first 6 years were bust, okay? You can't undo that. You're the first pick in the draft. You got to do something in the first 6 years. Like,
they made the playoffs, and they won a postseason game.
But still,
so that's not a bust.
After the 6 years, if you ask, would you draft him again at first, I think the answer is no.
Would you do the same thing with Jameis Winston then?
Would I draft him again?
Number 1 overall.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely
but
not.
But that's what I'm saying. That's
why?
The argument, though, because people will look at it and say, well, he threw for 5,000 yards, and he did all these good things. Yeah. And I get that. I understand that. But at the time, nobody was looking at the Bucs saying, I can't believe you drafted Jameis Winston number 1 overall. Yeah. It was him and Marcus Mariota. Like that. Yeah. Regardless of whether you are a believer of drafting a quarterback number 1 overall, that happens. Like, it happens. We just mentioned 3 of the 6 top quarterbacks. They were number 1 overall picks. So people are going to look at that draft pick. Nobody said, oh, that was a terrible pick by the Buccaneers.
No.
They should have done this, and this. You don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know.
But none of these quarterbacks that are drafted high without a good supported cast are good enough to elevate their team.
Right.
Nobody is. Nobody ever has been. So the quarterbacks that succeed are the ones, if they're all the same level, and you get drafted by the first team with the worst record, your team's going to be worse than the 20th guy.
Right.
Because you're coming in with a good defense, a running game, an offensive coordinator knows what's going on. This team is rebuilding over here. It's probably going to be 10 new starters. This team's established. That's why Ben Roethlisberger, those guys like that, they get thrust in right off rip.
Nice. It was nice for him.
Of course it was. He didn't have to do that much.
Nicest. I think it was the nicest situation out of any quarterback, any future Hall of Fame, or any Super Bowl quarterback. Hey, do me a favor. Just come into a great team. Just hand the ball off and win a Super Bowl. And then you grow into yourself.
Russell Wilson fell into that. But he wasn't. He was a 5th rounder. So how easy is that? You got 4 guys in front of him, and you're going on a pretty good team. Now, the funny part is I picked Russell Wilson in college to be the best player in college. I picked him because I watched him a lot in Wisconsin. He was freaking fantastic. I picked him. I picked J.J. Watt that one year.
Hurts.
I picked Jalen Hurts. I picked Willis from the 49ers.
Patrick Willis.
Patrick Willis. So, I mean, I had a good feel for these guys. But still to this day, you know, somebody asked me the other day, well, you can't pass up this guy. And I go, yeah, you can. Because when they say can't miss, you know who I heard can't miss from? Tony Mandridge.
Shit.
Can't miss. I mean, I believe Chuck Noll said he's the best football player I've ever seen in any league. And he never played really. At the end, he played a little bit. Here's the other one. Jadeveon Clowney. Can't miss. I mean, he had a nice little career, but he ain't LT now.
Yeah.
He's not 1/4 of LT. He never took over no games. So that can't miss thing, I'm not doing that, man. I'm not doing that.
You can't miss some of these owners on the sideline too. I wanted to get your opinion on that. With, you know, we see Jerry Jones in the box and they show him on TV about a good 25, 30 times a game. But you see Arthur Blank, you see all these, you know, Irsay's daughter, she's out there with some headset.
Yeah.
As a player, what do you think about things? And I get it, I'm not, and I know you're focused in doing your own job. Yeah. But when we're talking about something like that where it's extra. Your thoughts as a player when you see things like that, is it not a big deal? Is it a take away from anything? Is it more something that the media deals with? Like, if you played for the Cowboys and there was so much attention on Jerry Jones, does that affect you or the team at all?
I've never played for the Cowboys. I have a funny feeling, and listen, if you ask me if am I a Jerry Jones fan, I don't want him running my team, but I want him owning my team.
Yes.
If I play for a team, I want my owner to be Jerry Jones. I know people that play for Dallas, okay? So if Jerry Jones is that guy that comes to me, hey Ian, how's your family doing? How's the wife and kids? And hey, here's a little money to help out this, blah, blah. If we have a good rapport, you can be on the sideline if you want. Yeah. Now, there's going to be other owners you're like, what the hell is he doing here? That's not going to work out. So the young lady from Indianapolis or whoever's on the field, it comes down to the rapport you have in the locker room. Right. You, Culverhouse, came in our locker room one time and the whole time I was there, and he looked at my name tag and he called me Ian. He goes, have a great game, Ian. I feel like saying, I started for you for 6 years. It'd be nice if you could at least pronounce my first name. So if he was down and around, ain't no love there. You know what I mean? Right. I'll give you a great example. It's about the love for the person, because back in the day when Pete Rozelle used to come through and Paul Tagliabue used to come through, it was love. Like, that's our owner. That's our leader.
Represent.
Now Roger Goodell comes through and everybody's like, F that dude. Right. Straight up, it's a feel thing.
Speaking of feel things, how about field things? Just saw, I forgot who it was. They're paying the extra money to put grass down instead of turf. And we're hearing this conversation about MetLife, and I forgot where it was, but it
NFL or college?
NFL.
Okay.
NFL, because there's outrage. Players miffed over service, and this is Pittsburgh. Players from the Pittsburgh Steelers and Cleveland Browns expressed outrage and concerns to the NFLPA about the embarrassing playing surface last weekend at Acrisure Stadium in Pittsburgh. It'll always be Heinz Field to me. Some players said the field, which was already scheduled to be resodded after the game, was dry. Roderick Jones was one of multiple players that they kicked up chunks of grass. This is something different.
Sure.
But I heard another story that there was a team that's really focused on spending more money to make sure that the field is grass instead of turf. You, as a former NFL player, let everybody know what that big difference is, because I think to the outside, people don't think it's that big of a deal. But, man, you look at some, especially the ACL injuries that happens pretty much every year at MetLife Stadium. Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah, it's cheaper, and because they use that field, it's easy to change it up and use the venues for concerts and things like that. But, my gosh, it is much more of a health risk for players playing on turf versus field, grass, isn't it?
Well, I went from Tampa Stadium, not Ray J, but the old Sombrero, to Philadelphia. Okay, so I went from the best field to the worst field. People used to come here at the end of the season, and I see players on their hands and knees touching the grass. They go, oh my God, like we had the best field all the time, okay? That adds years to your lifetime in the league, no doubt about that. Then I went to Philadelphia, and that field was like if you took this floor and painted it green, and that was like that. Okay, so I had a bad foot that I had surgically repaired, so I've had a surgically repaired foot playing on that hard ass turf. I would have paid extra money to play on grass. And at the beginning of the season, when the schedule comes out, I look at opponents first, like who I'd be playing against. Mm-hmm. And the second thing I look is how many turf games I have, because if you play a turf game on Sunday, your recovery is probably a day later. It just hurts more. Like just fall on the grass and fall on the ground. Mm-hmm. And there's a big difference. Turf is it's not good, man. If I never played on turf, I'd have been way happier. And you're not gonna hear no lineman complain about no grass. Never, not one time. Receivers, I get it. But you're not going to hear linemen complain about grass. Never. No way.
And then, you say that, and then the wide receiver like Malik Neighbors, and he messes up his ACL. And it happens to everybody.
It happens to everybody, everywhere. I don't know if there's even statistics that there's more ACLs on turf. I don't even know that. But it just seems like there's more, injuries that without contact on turf, it seems like. You know what I mean? But listen, I'm in high school football. There's no grass fields left. I've not seen a grass field since I got into high school.
How's the team looking? How'd you do last Friday?
We look okay unless we play Jefferson.
What was the final score?
It was like 36-8, maybe.
You got 8.
Yeah, it was 13-8 for a long time.
Wow.
And they screwed us on an interception we got. And I'm not saying the referees are the reason, because they're better than us, okay?
But what happened?
But then the momentum just swung.
Oh, yeah.
You know what momentum was all about. You could feel the momentum swinging. You see our players starting to do this, and they're getting all swole up, and I'm like, here we go.
How'd you score the 8?
We put it on them for a little bit.
Yeah, nice.
We really did. We just, we're dumb. We're a dumb team.
Closer than you thought, though, early?
Early.
After
the first 2 drives, I go, we can beat this team.
Really?
I don't do, we play Cardinal Mooney, and after the first 3 plays, I go, yeah, no. No. Listen, it's evident. Like when you play a team that's like superior, like the first drive, there was 3 and out, and they were -3 yards. I'm like, okay, and our team's all swole up, and then we regress from there. But when you play a Cardinal Mooney, like they'll run the same damn play every freaking play, and you can't do nothing about it, bro. And that's, guys are tired and they want to get the hell out of there.
Speaking of getting tired and getting the hell out of there, if you guys are looking for a place to go next Monday night to watch the Buccaneers and the Detroit Lions, where are they going to go?
Well, I'm gathering up all the big willies of the Tampa Bay area for a viewing party that we have over there.
I think you should probably rephrase that.
Big willies. No, I'm not going to bring that back. Big willies.
That's not good.
No, that's not a bad thing. Depends who you ask.
You're collecting the big willies. You started the show talking about porn.
Yeah.
And now you're ending it talking about how you're going to collect big willies.
Well, you want to go to little willy
I just
porn?
don't want to use the word willies at all.
Okay. The big ballers.
The big ballers. That's fine. The dignitaries.
Okay. The dignitaries. How about that? The dignitaries. Monday, we do some stuff over here normally for the games, but I want to do a little bit bigger. My boy Paulie from Aloft, he brings people over for the Buccaneers games, and I said, let me do a little viewing party over there at Midtown Aloft. It's on the roof. The weather's absolutely beautiful. We're gonna have some screens outside. They have a little restaurant there, Surrey Mar, that has unbelievable food. And I know Tony Mayberry and Mark Royals, I believe Tajay Armstrong and the great Jay Recher is going to hang out. And I know Johnny B is going to hang out. And there's some other people from The Bone. And
nice.
The great Tom Ponzo is going to be there.
Wow, getting Ponzo out on a weeknight. Ponzo on a weeknight.
Yeah, so come hang out. We're going to have drink, specials. And we're going to try to raise some money for Chamberlain football because I'm trying to get these kids up a little bit. Maybe we'll do a 50-50 or something like that.
Yeah.
Raise some money, you know what I mean?
What do they need money for?
Everything. Jerseys. You ever seen our jerseys? Turbo.
Damn, really?
Dude, I don't even know what fabric that is. Nah, it don't breathe though.
It don't breathe.
It don't breathe though. Nah.
Y'all play Friday?
We play Friday, and if we lose Friday, I'm done.
What do you mean? You're done?
We play King. I'm done.
King high.
Done.
Watch out.
If we lose the King, I'm done.
You're quitting?
I'm quitting on the field.
This guy's quitting.
No, dog.
Quitting on the field.
On the field.
Get off the field.
I'm
He's
done.
quitting on the field. Deuces, I'm out. He's throwing his chain down. He's done.
I'm out.
Make sure you follow Ian on social media at Ian_Beckles. Check us out here at the Dignitary Cafe, 4817 Southwest Shore Boulevard. The best kava in town, the best kratom in town. Really cool vibe here. They're 420 friendly. Really nice place here at the Dignitary Cafe. Follow me at Recher and support, of course, Chamberlain High School. Check us out on Monday at Aloft Midtown. You see it. You can't miss it. It's right there, just southeast
Yeah,
of
right in the middle of Midtown.
275.
Yeah.
Right there. So if you got
Everybody know
if you
Midtown
got to
is
the
now.
overpass, you went too far. So
For
if you're
reals.
going north on 275, right before the overpass, that last right there, go check us out there. We'll be
man.
there on Monday night. Ian joins me on my podcast every Monday at 12:30, and of course, we're live every Wednesday at 3 o'clock right here on the YouTube channel. All right, make sure you come check us out, and as always, go Bucks.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Deuces.
Deuces.